Hello everyone, welcome to the channel. So today we're going to talk about the expected cost of getting a day 2 token for the latest Magic Arena Open. So we know that the latest Arena Open is going to be next week. It's going to be held next week. It's going to be draft and it will have a different price structure. So I wrote a more detailed article about this on AetherHub, which you can check out. But the gist of that article I'm going to discuss here. So in the previous opens, I did make these calculations already. So these calculations are your expected cost. Like if you're intent on trying to get that day 2 token for the Arena Open, how much would it cost you based on your win rate, based on your game win rate? So your game win rate is your probability of winning any given game. Of course, your game win rate is not the equivalent to your match win rate. If you're playing best of three, your match win rate is different from your game win rate, but that's already taken care of here. So that's taken care of in these computations. We are just dealing with your game win rate, and then it automatically, in the computations, I've adjusted it. I've adjusted your match win rate accordingly. Right. So we know that there are two options. So you can either go best of one for day one of the Arena Open, or you can do best of three. But now we have a different now we have a different price structure, right? So here we can see the different costs. So and what you can see here is that if your game win rate is 40% or worse, you probably should not attempt the Arena Open at all, right? Because the average cost is going to be quite high whether you choose best of three or best of one, right? Either of those two options. Uh, it's going to be very expensive on average. So you probably don't want to do that. Even when you're at a 50% win rate, it's still quite expensive. As you can see here, at 50% win rate, you can expect people on average to spend about $300 uh, in best of three if they're playing best of three, or $246 if they're playing best of one, right? So it's going to still be a bit expensive. When you are at 60% to 70% win rate, of course, and that means you're a very good drafter. Like 60% win rate is already quite good. 70% means you're really a good drafter. Then you can expect the costs to be much lower. And at 60%, it's already reasonable. You can still expect to do the open several times before you can get the token. But like for example, at about 80 bucks, right? $80 in each of these, whether it's best of three or best of one, that's already quite reasonable. It's like you're joining a Grand Prix. It's like you're joining a Grand Prix, which costs about this much, right? So, and you but basically get to day two already, and you only need to win a few more matches for a chance at getting into the money, right? So it's quite reasonable. So definitely only attempt the Open, and this is true for every other Arena Open. Only attempt it if you're really very confident about your win rate. And in this case, since it's draft, if you're really confident about drafting. Finally, I want to talk about a comparison of the cost between the Arena Open now to the previous Open. So one change is that it's actually more expensive now. The entrance is more expensive. They raised the entrance from 4,000 gems before to 5,000 gems now. At the same time, they improved the price structure, particularly for best of one. Previously in best of one, if you are not, even if you're able to obtain the token already, you still don't get all of your gems or gold back, right? I think you only get half of what you put in, but now that's no longer true. Whether you are in best of three or in best of one, uh, getting the token means that you get a prize of at least 5,000 gems, which is the cost of entry. So that has an impact. As you can see here in this table, that has an impact. Because previously, best of one costs more than best of three, right? Because in best of three, if you actually win the token, you actually get a bit more. You get a little more gems than your entrance. But now that's no longer the case for best of three. For best of three, or if you get the token, then you just recuperate your entrance for day two, right? Of course, you can still win cash on day two. But since we are just looking at expected costs here, so what you can see is that best of one costs are now much closer to best of three costs and are even slightly lower. So this does add to the incentive of playing best of three of playing best of one instead of best of three with the restructured prizes. Of course, there are many other factors that come into play when choosing between those two. Like, of course, a lot of people who are strong drafters may prefer best of three simply because they can lean much more on their ability to sideboard better than their opponents, or to construct a draft deck that is more capable of sideboarding than their opponent's deck. So those are factors that you can consider when choosing between best of one and best of three. But if we narrow down the choice considerations to just the probability of getting the token, we know that best of one is already slightly ahead there, and now with the cost being more comparable than before, then that actually gives best of one an even better edge as a choice when you're choosing between best of one and best of three. All right, so that's all I have for you. Hope you enjoyed watching this video, and if you do, please subscribe to the channel for more content on Magic Arena, Magic the Gathering. All right, see you again next time.